offensive lineman Brandon Yates. Questions for Brandon?
So Brandon, start just bouncing back and forth. You start at guard, then you move over to center. You practice that way, but is that hard to do in the game?
In the game, nah, it's not really that hard. I've been preparing since spring, doing some center reps when Zach was out, so I was doing that. A lot of one-on-ones and goods versus goods. So just those reps. I was confident in my reps, so I went out there. I was still pretty confident going out there. Yeah, it's not really a big thing going out there. Just kind of take it in the moment.
Game reps help in just sort of learning the position even more so than all that practice time.
I think the practice is more important to me. Honestly, going out there, taking practice serious in the games, it seems kind of like not as big in the moment. Because practice is way harder than the game. So I went out there. I mean, I knew I had the reps. I had the experience at that point. It's just go out there, execute.
How many center snaps did you get against Duquesne?
The exact number, I'm not sure about the exact number.
How many did you get overall? Do you know that?
Yeah, I got like 56 snaps.
56, so you'd say probably at least half of those or more was probably center, right?
It was more at guard. But center reps, I would say like a little bit more, like 40%.
40%?
Yeah, 40%.
And how were your snap accuracy?
Snap accuracy, getting better at that. I feel like it was pretty good, but some instances it was a little bit far right, far left, but I'm getting better every day.
Yeah. What's so hard? I mean, obviously that you're looking behind your legs and you got all these things going on. Just kind of walk us through. It's not easy to do.
Yeah, it's definitely much more of an added step. My first problem with going up with center is just kind of just getting the calls to everybody and then understanding my footwork and stuff, things like that, and then also adding a snap on top of that. Kind of like added pressure because you're the person that touched the ball first. Like you mess up, then I mess up the whole play. But once like the snaps got more consistent, it didn't feel like an added step. Kind of felt like a continued motion. So it wasn't that after a while it wasn't that hard to really just get the steps down and stuff like that.
Yeah. Had you only played tackle before this spring?
Yeah. Well, I got little stints like that now and then at guard. But like before that it was just pretty much just tackle. We went from left to right, and now we're trying out guard.
What's the biggest thing about moving inside? I mean, how does tackle different than the 3 inside position?
Just pretty much going against like defense wise, it's a little more the different kind of type of body types. In the Big 12, you kind of see like guys that's a lot taller, lankier, kind of like basketball players. I would say like a lot of guys just like basketball players like to juke around and long arm guys. Inside guys, a little bit more thicker guys, a little more solid guys, a little more powerful guys. Going inside, main thing that changed for me was when I was at tackle, I was a little bit more smaller. I was like 290, 295 when I was playing tackle. Now I'm like sitting around like 310, a little more stronger, a little more solid. So things just changed. You're not much on the island anymore, but you are, and like you do have a little more power. So there's a lot of things, a lot more anchoring down and being a little more solid inside.
One more about snapping. Garrett's not the tallest guy in the world, so you have to make yourself aware. Hey, I can't go too high with this because he maybe have to either fair catch it or take off and go get it.
Yeah. With Garrett, that's just coming with just checking on Garrett every single time. Like, where was that snap at? Make sure I get it down, or if I could come up a little bit. But with Garrett, it is a little bit different. You can't really shoot it too high with Garrett. You know what I mean? You shoot it too high, it's gonna go over his head. But you just gotta make sure. Yeah, he's a good athlete. Yeah, he can catch it. Yeah, he can good. Yeah.
What's it like? You said tackle, you're kind of off by yourself. What's it like then moving inside and working with someone like Zach Frazier?
Oh, working with Zach Frazier, he's the greatest center in college football right now. Working with him is always great. Always great to know that he's by your side. You know what I mean? If I mess up, that he's gonna come there and maybe pick up my slack. But for sure, having that help is always nice. But with that guard, sometimes you are by yourself. And I feel like I equip myself to be able to handle situations. But having Zach, it's always good. Always great.
When you say he's the best center in college football, you're a guy that plays that position. Why is he that way?
It just comes with his body of work. If you go out there and watch him play every single snap, he's a different kind of guy. Different kind of guy mentally. Over the years, I've been with Zach since he's better every single time. He's very strong. He knows his things all the time. You know, as an offensive lineman, you kind of want to be the same guy every single day. And with him, he's been the same guy every single day, and he's just being the same guy and also getting better. So with him, he's just always consistent. You always know we can get out of Zach every single time. He's always physical. He's always trying his hardest. He's always training. So with Zach, you just know he's gonna go out there and play his hardest.
What amazes you most about him?
What amazes me the most is like, you know, all this media coverage and all this stuff like that. He's getting so noticed, and he hasn't changed up one bit. He's continued to be a leader and continuing getting better every single day. And he's just really just works harder. His work ethic only increased every single year. Like, he's getting these accolades, but he hasn't slowed down. He's gotten faster, stronger. He hasn't let anything slow him down.
Do you feel like you're a better fit inside? And how do you feel about that, just training you maybe for the next level, being able to play all 5 positions?
I wouldn't say. I think I'm valuable any place on the offensive line. Honestly, I played everywhere, like everywhere on the 5, and I feel like everywhere I went, I have some production. I produced somewhere at some point, and I do think inside is a very good fit for me. You know, I have gotten stronger, I have gotten more powerful, and I think down there I'm able to display my strength and my power. So down there, I really do feel like it's a good fit. And in the next level, honestly, it's wherever they want me to be at. And I think I'll for sure be able to produce.
Did you ever heard of Pitt, West Virginia rivalry growing up? I mean, I know you were in Delaware for a long time, so that's closer than where you ended up. So had you ever heard of it? And then when you got to the atmosphere last year, what was that like?
Yeah, I definitely heard of it growing up for sure. You know, you always pay attention to stuff like that, like rivalries. As a kid, you grow up and you see that you always want to watch the biggest games. So for sure, this is always been a big game that I was always watched growing up. What was the second question?
What was it? You were part of that atmosphere last year. What was it like being there? Was that different than other games you'd played in?
Oh, for sure, it was definitely different. You know, going over there in Pitt territory, it's very different, very different. It was kind of just going in there. It was kind of surreal. You know, it was it was a different kind of atmosphere, different kind of energy. You definitely feel like you're a part of that history. Every other guy, like every person that's been in that atmosphere, been in that situation, you understand that feeling of the atmosphere of that backyard brawl, and it's certainly different. You know, the energy is always there. It was loud. And people was, screaming. It was crazy. It was definitely a great place to be.
Like, have you imagined what it will be like here?
I always imagine it, but I won't know until I get to that situation. I think it's going to be a lot different than us when we was at Pitt. I think our fans could for sure show out. It's a close rivalry, you know what I mean? And I think our fans for sure are the greatest fans in America, and I think for sure they're going to show out for this game.
What was it like walking off the field after that game, going through the fans into the locker room? You remember that?
You talking about the Pitt game? Yeah. Yeah, I mean the students where we go in the locker room, that's where the student section is at, and I mean they're gonna let us hear it for sure. They let us hear it, but it was great energy. You know, you kind of like going in situations like that, and like you know what I mean, shutting them up and stuff like that. So it always feels good going in their territory and kind of like showing out in front of their fans.
How do you feel having 2 games under your belt going into this one compared to having to start out up there last year?
It definitely gives us our team able to understand where our strengths and weaknesses are going into this game. I think our whole team is excited for this week. We got our first practice today, and I feel like we got a different kind of energy about us. We know what kind of week it is. We understand the history, and we're for sure we're going to go in and be ready for this game 1,000%. We're going to prepare hard, and it's going to be a great week of practice.
What was it like? Nobody on the team had played Pitt before. So what was it like going from hearing about the rivalry and hearing about the history to now actually being a part of it?
It's completely different. Like hearing about it, you're like, okay, it's a rivalry. You know what I mean? You're not really in it. You don't understand it. You know what I mean? I'm a guy from Delaware, so I never really understood the rivalry until I really got here. And I got here and talked to some past guys that came in and gave us some speeches and talked about the rivalry and how years ago how it would lead up to this moment, led up to today. Being there was completely different. Like you kind of felt it, you know what I mean? Like you kind of felt like that past energy, that past rivalry, that past everything. You kind of just felt it all come when you was there in that moment. And for sure, us teams, we felt it. You know what I mean? We felt that energy between each other. It was a great game. You saw it on TV, like you've seen it in real life. Like it was a great game. I think we really entertained the fans and really went out there and played hard. Each team.
The guys that talked to you, former players and coaches or whatnot that Neil had last year, was there any story or anything that they told you that you remembered or stuck out to you about the game?
They all kind of had the same type of thing. It was pretty much like a brawl, really. You went out there and fought hard, and it was really much a gritty game. Like, but us in between them was really, really gritty and a really hard-nosed football. But you just kind of tell, like, both these teams, we really don't. Well, it's a rivalry. It's a real rivalry. It's not like one of those rivalries that you say it's a rivalry because kind of regional thing. Like, it's genuine that we are rivals with each other and really want to beat each other and compete.
Yeah, I know that Yates was around for a lot last year, but you get a chance to kind of pick the brain all over Sheet Marshall, who's now actually part of the program again, and because he has a lot of brawl experience growing up with it, being from there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure throughout he hasn't really spoke to us about yet. Like usually we have team meetings and he's probably gonna have a speech about it and talk about it. But I mean, I talk to Rashid now and then about like all the rivalries that he's played in, and you know what I mean. When we played Penn State, he talked about like stuff like that, Penn State games, and talked about like VT games, stuff like that. So he's definitely gonna talk to us this week. But I haven't really been able to really pick his brain about this game in particular.
A lot of talking in the game last year
A lot of
between
talking.
the guys, with a back and forth banter between the players on the field.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's a little rivalry. I think. I mean, when a game like this, there's always gonna be a little bit of talking. You know what I mean? Adrenaline's high, testosterone's high. You guys gonna talk.
There'll probably be more this year because you know each other now.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely know each other for sure.
First name basis.
First name basis, yeah.